That brings up something very interesting to me that I have noticed in my experience. And as a former lefty, I'm not just pointing fingers at others. I used to be a radical socialist, so I'm in some way pointing the finger at myself as well. But I was talking to Stephanie Wynn. I think you might know her.
Yes, interacted with her a bunch. She's great.
Yeah, she's great. She said, the multicultural competencies she said she never had were for dealing with conservatives and Christians. And, this is kind of the general attitude in my program, but with so many other therapists that I've interacted with, it's like this idea that conservatives, especially Trump supporters, are just icky. Like you wouldn't want that in your office, like to get that conservatism on your couch. You know what I mean? Like that, it might stick and you can't,
Yes.
you can't
Someone
Febreze that
else,
away.
someone else might sit in it. It might get on
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so that, hmm. Um, so I know I've heard you reference, like you've read Coddling of the American Mind, right? So, Jonathan, have you read The Righteous Mind?
Oh yeah, love it, love it.
Okay. So here's an interesting discussion point for us. You know how he talked about the moral foundations theory in the book and how libertarians and conservatives are very good at looking at leftists and assigning the moral motivation to a leftist's behavior that they themselves would also assign. Like I can look at why somebody voted for Joe Biden and I can explain like this is what they believe and here's the moral explanation. However, even back then, I think that book was written in what, 2012? And even
Yeah.
back then, he'd said leftists are not, his research revealed leftists are not good at,
Mm.
they cannot assign a moral motivation. But then he assigned a very factual but somewhat compassionate explanation to that. They're only using 2 out of those 6 moral foundations to assess moral behavior. Those are the only memory card slots they have for what constitutes moral actions. When everything was happening in 2020 and we had all the masking come out, related to COVID, I said to myself at that time, I think people on the left are now using sanctity versus degradation.
Ooh, that is can you flesh that out? That's a phenomenal point you
Yes.
just made.